Take these words in. I am light, I am light. 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 I am not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. I'm not the mistakes that I have made or any of the things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the dreams I left behind. I am light. I am light. I am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all light. All light, yeah. I am divinity defined. I am the God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light.
Hi, YouTubers. I'm excited to give you an update about our own YouTube channel. Now you can find new videos every day. They're the kind of videos that will make you look at life differently. They may even make you laugh a little bit.
Om Shanti, Om Shanti, and good evening, everyone.
Shanti, Om Shanti, good evening.
Om Shanti.
And welcome to this session of the soul and body connection. And this topic also deals with the healing powers or healing into wholeness. Because one of the things we need to understand is when the soul is depleted, when it's not in its right stage, the body becomes affected. And so when the soul is affected by sorrow, it then affects the body. When the body is wounded, the soul feels the pain. When the soul is happy, the body is also happy. And there are several indicators to that. But before we go into that, we need to understand what is the soul and the difference between the soul and the body. There are several new people here, I'm sure, who would not have had any introduction to about the soul and the body. So I'll just share a little bit on that. So we need to understand, first of all, the soul and the body separate. And the nature of the body is to be in balance, meaning having a healthy life, healthy lifestyle, well, eventually healthy lifestyle, harmony with the self. But that can only happen when the soul is empowered or when the soul is in its right state. And so when illness comes, illness is an indication that the body and the soul are not in harmony with each other. And there are several reasons for illnesses. And one of the main things is because of not taking care of the body. We can easily suffer the consequences. The first thing we need to understand is that the soul is not immune to action. There is the belief that no doubt the soul and the body separate, but what all others say is that the body feels the pain. The body is the one that feels all the action and the reaction, but that is not so. It is the soul. So the soul is not immune to action. The soul is what feels everything. The soul is what carries out the function of the body. But we need to understand the difference first. First, the body. What really is the body? Anyone? Can anyone share? What is the body? No one knows what is the body? So the body is made out of the 5 elements of earth, water, fire, air, and space. The body can be said to be not, it's lifeless. It doesn't have life in it. It's only when the soul enters, there is life. So at childbirth, the soul, not childbirth, when the body is formed in the womb, the soul enters the body at that point. And at the time of death, the soul departs from the body. The body returns back to the 5 elements. So how can we say that it's the body that is not immune to, well, it's not the soul that is immune to action, but the body. What happens after that when death occurs? So what really is the soul? Can anyone say what is the soul? What's the description of the soul? Anyone can share. Anyone?
A conscious energy.
A conscious energy. Okay. What else?
Om Shanti, the soul is the door of the action through the body.
But what really is the soul?
Om Shanti, everyone. The soul is a point of light.
Yeah. Soul is a point of light.
The life force that makes the body.
Right. Yes, all those are correct answers.
The living energy.
Yes. So, but to qualify this point of light, we have to say a subtle point because you cannot see it. Brother Kaushik, there is feedback right now. So the soul is a point of light. It's subtle. It means that you cannot see it with the eyes.
Cannot see it. You can feel it.
With the physical eyes. It's beyond that. The physical body is beyond seeing the body is beyond. Okay. So, and as you said, Sister Helia, it's a life-giving force to, or or we can say energy. It's a subtle energy also that gives life to the body. Can the main center just mute the instrument that is giving us feedback? So how can you define the soul now? Soul has three qualities or three abilities, whatever, and normally referred to as MIS. And the term MIS means Management Information System, simply because it manages the body. It has a system that is in place to manage the body. So that's why we say MIS. But MIS actually means the mind, the intellect, and the sanskars, or the habits or the tendency. Let me just check, see why we are having this problem. No indication. So the mind is what creates thoughts. So the soul has three faculties. The mind, which creates thoughts. We are quite aware of that. Where the function of the mind is actually to create thoughts. So thoughts are being created all the time. But in this particular session, we'll have to deal with why we are creating certain thoughts and how we should shift the creation of those thoughts. The intellect is the decision-making aspect of the soul, which makes decision. It tells you what is right, what is wrong, or it is the discriminating aspect or the discriminating part of the soul. And the sanskars, or what we call tendencies or habits, are as a result of the thoughts that we create. Eventually, they form habits, sanskars, and they become a part of our thinking, the way we think, the way we produce thoughts. That also has an influence on the environment that we are living in, how we are influenced by our environment to create thoughts, so many other things. But let's just stick with the creation of thoughts and the judgment of the thoughts, that's the intellect, and scars.
The feedback.
So let's get back again to soul and the body. We can say the soul is a luminous entity. It's light. It gives energy to the body. And we can say the body is the temple or the vehicle. And so the soul uses the body to carry out its task, its function, whatever activities you perform. It's the soul that is directing the body to do that. As I said, the function of the mind, which is the faculty of the soul, is to create thoughts. So what happens all day there is a creation of thoughts, and it's said that we are creating like 30 thoughts per minute, which is a lot. And so when we are creating these thoughts, they go into the body. The intellect judges these thoughts, and based on the judgment, we perform actions. It can be good actions, it can be bad, negative actions. And so that's an intricate pattern all day long. The soul creating thoughts, body functions on those thoughts, because the soul is what directs the body and not the other way around, as we were taught to believe. And what the soul uses is the 5 sense organs: the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the ears, the skin. And those are all connected to seeing, touching, hearing, feeling. And based on those reactions, they go back to form habits or sanskars based on the reactions of those 5 organs. And what also influences it influences the way we think eventually. What also influences our thought is like our past life, what we would have acquired in terms of sanskars and habits and tendencies and beliefs, and our lifestyle, our customs. All those things influence how we think and how we carry out our daily activities. There's also our emotions, our attitude. I did mention belief. And that would also include like, our religious customs, certain way we were taught to believe certain things, or they were integrated into our lives at a very early age, from childhood growing up. And so based on those thoughts that we create, 2 things can happen. When we create positive thoughts, what happens? What does positive thoughts do to us, both to the soul and the body? When you have a positive thought, how do you feel? No one? Positive thoughts are associated with healing energy. You feel energized, you feel healthy, you feel strong, you feel happy. Negative thoughts, on the other hand, they block that pure energy, and they can also, well, there are experiments that were carried out that damage cells. So there is cell damage, and that can cause further loss in terms of negativity. The soul can become more depleted of its positive energy. And you can check this at any time when you are in an environment that is very peaceful. Let's take like nature. If you take a walk in nature, like if you go into the forest where there are no impact of the environment or a negative impact of the environment, how do you feel when you walk in nature? How do you feel if you take a walk into the forest or a very quiet area? Doesn't have to be a forest.
Shanti, we feel peaceful, we feel happy.
Mm-hmm. Most likely you feel peaceful, not only happy, but mostly peaceful. What happens when you enter a church, a mosque, a mandir, a meditation room? What happens? How do you feel? Don't tell me you never went to one of those places. We feel very peaceful. We start to feel that we are entering a place of worship. It must be quiet. There must be solitude. There must be that stillness. And so the soul goes into that experience. Just like if you go into a forest where there are no vehicle sound, those kind of things. So the other side of that, what happens when you go to a marketplace where there's a big crowd? Very rowdy, right? It's very noisy, and they because of that influence, you tend to speak louder. You tend to like if you have to buy something, you start to haggle over. It's not like a peaceful transit. It's not like a peaceful transit. Oops. So then, another situation, if you go into well, some of you might have never like experienced this, but like if you go into a war zone, what happens in a war zone? What about when you go into pass by where there is rioting or mob violence? What kind of energy is there?
Sadness, sorrow.
It's anger, anger and violence. Those are the two main things
Mm.
that are in like in a war zone, in in a in a mob, and there is like mob violence. You know, like when you have a riot. Look at the behavior of the rioters. They don't care what they do because the influence of that energy. Sometimes they're very good people, you know, who have good intentions, but because they're dragged into that atmosphere, what happens? The energy that is surrounding them at that time is one of a negativity. And so that's why we say it's these things cause damage at the cellular level. When we get angry, we get upset. It takes a while, our pressure goes up. So many things can happen. And there was so many experiments on this also. I know there is one with water where they had two glasses of water and one was given positive vibration. It was spoken to very nicely and spread peaceful vibration. And the other one was negative thoughts were created. And they took those two glasses of water and froze it. And when they brought out those two glasses of water, well, iced, it would have been iced then. The one that the positive thoughts were there was that clear crystalline formation of the ice. The other one showed a lot of cracks and the formation of the crystals was uneven. So it shows that even with our thoughts into the environment, what it can do, the damage it can do. Because not only we are damaging ourselves in terms of our cells, self, SEL and CELLS, but we spread negative vibration into the atmosphere. We are creating negative vibration into the atmosphere. And eventually those negativity will come back to us also. They'll come back to affect us at a later stage in our life. So what happens when you have negative thoughts? With positive thoughts, what happens? When you create positive thoughts, what happens? Anyone can share what happens when you create positive thoughts? How do you feel?
Lifts the spirit.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
It lifts your spirit.
It lifts your spirit. Yes, definitely. It lifts the soul. And how do you feel when it lifts your soul?
You feel good, feeling of well-being. I'm doing the right thing.
Yes. We feel positive. We feel happy. There is peace. There is supersensuous joy. There is bliss.
Self-transformation.
You create a peaceful atmosphere no matter what is going on around you. So what are some positive thoughts?
Om Shanti. A positive
Om
thought,
Shanti.
maybe I am a happy soul.
It has to deal with the virtues, right? Okay, that's the point I'm trying to get at. It has to deal with the virtues. I'm a happy soul. Okay, what else? Okay, what else?
I'm a loving soul.
You're a loving soul. What else? Virtues. What virtues are created by positive thoughts, or what virtues create positive thoughts? It's like contentment, being peaceful, being happy.
Yes,
What else?
Content, be satisfied.
Truth,
Yeah.
purity. What else?
Have pure feelings and good wishes for everyone.
Okay. Any others? There's so many. Generosity, wisdom, charity, mercy, being merciful, tolerance, sweetness, yes.
Full of enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm. Yeah,
Peaceful.
zeal and enthusiasm. All right. So what about negative thoughts now? What creates negative thoughts? Or what is like the sense of negativity? How negativity comes about? Well, we talk of the vices actually here. What are some of them now? You can share the gross ones and the subtle ones.
Om Shanti, violence.
Jealousy.
Violence, yeah. Violence is a little bit broad though. Yes, go ahead.
Jealousy.
Jealousy, one of the biggest one. Yes. Next. A main one. You're missing a main one. Anger. Yes, that's the one I'm looking for. Anger. What comes with anger? But before anger, you have the other subtle ones, right? Frustration, irritation. What else? Depression, guilt, hatred. I don't like to use that one, but it's there, hatred.
Ego.
Well, there are two types of hate actually. Yeah, well, ego, yes, but we're looking at the more gross one. There are two types of hate. You have self-hate, and you have hate for others. What is really self-hate? I think someone has on two instruments, and that's why we are getting this feedback. Can somebody check to see if they have two instruments on? All right, so self-hate is when you have a dislike somehow for yourself. Some things you don't like about self. You don't like the environment you're born in, the society you live in. You don't like how you look. You don't like the things around you. You don't like your feelings. So many things. That's self-hate. The other hate is, of course, when you hate someone or hate other things. Any others that you can think of? All right, so we look at the term. Now we are still on body and soul connection, right? So we are going to look at disease now. What is disease really? Disease is something that is inflicted on the body, but it's the soul that feels it. Whatever pain the body feels, the soul is what feels the pain. The soul that experiences the pain, the sorrow, the guilt, the happiness, all. So disease can be described as the body being dis at ease. When you're at ease, you're in a positive state. When you're disease, you're dis at ease. Means you're not easy anymore. Too many things are affecting you. And so science, medical experiments would have done and would have shown that the majority of the illnesses are psychosomatic, meaning it comes from the, well, we would say here soul, but it's the mind. It's the way we think, the way we feel, the way we operate, the way our perception. One of the main things are perception and how we perceive things. All of that affects the function of the body in relation to the harmony of the soul and the body. And so I can give you an example here where this was an experiment with two persons. Two of them, they had terminal illness. It was considered terminal illness. And they were given short periods to live. And one person decided that, okay, that's it. I'm just going to go home, prepare myself, write out my will, and prepare for my final rites. But in 2 weeks, he died. The other one, on the other hand, had some life commitments. He had a family, he had a good job, and he decided, well, listen, I need to fight this. So he went on to an extensive treatment. But his thought power was that I want to survive. I want to live. And that is what gave energy to the body to survive. And he went on to live much longer because of the positivity of the soul. Because of thinking in a positive way. So many times we give up easily rather than fighting it, creating that positive energy and taking support. Well, we take support from God, of course, the Supreme Soul. And so that's where we get our energy from. But just creating positive thoughts can help you endure, can help you pass, can sustain you and make you live much longer. So one of the things with illness also, what we have, sickness, not so much illness, is that it's a return or a return of an emotional pattern of negative actions we would have performed in this birth and also previous birth, because here we also believe in we had previous births, and so they come back. We carry them with us in the form of our sanskars, in forms of our habits and tendency. So whatever actions, impure, unjustified and justified, whatever wrong actions we would have done in the past, it comes back as an emotional pattern to be settled. And so we call it here karmic accounts or karmic returns. But that's not the only thing also we can call karmic returns. Sometimes what causes negative energy, not necessarily karmic returns, but disruptions in our life can be karmic accounts also. For example, we may lose our job. That may not be a karmic account. There can be disruption in relationships. We can if we can be, there's a separation, there's a divorce, something like that. We can lose friendship for some unnecessary reason. Or financial state, you lose your job, or some we can lose through some investment. We lose finance, money, monetary returns would have gone. So all these things are disruptions in our life, and how do we face them? As like I said, it can be a karmic return. But illness is a whole different matter. Illness of the body. So those are the sorts of disruption, but then the illness of the body, you can say it's karmic accounts we are settled. What did we do that we should have a fever? What did we do that we should have cancer? Well, that's the extremities. But one of the things when we have a serious illness, it comes to as an indicator for us to make some changes in our lifestyle. And unless we recognize that, we will go downwards. A few years ago, I had a minor surgery, though a serious complaint. And then I decided, well, after I was told I was lucky to survive it, made some additional changes in my life. Although my life was already different, but my thought patterns changed even more. It became more, more committed to what I'm doing, and not to do it half-heartedly. And so when we face these disruptions in our life, it's an indication that something should change. We know the world is evolving all the time. The world is not static, it's dynamic. So there are changes all the time. And so in order for growth to happen, maybe we have to let go of some things. And as like I said, it can be of a physical nature in terms of not affecting the body, but like your job, your living environment, your finances. But certainly, when it's an illness of the body, we need to be more focused. Illness is an indicator that the soul is not in harmony with the body. And so we have to dig into our reserve and to see what is really wrong. Yes, we do go to the doctor. The doctor will serve it physically. If he has to do an operation, he will do that operation or a corrective measure, whatever it is. What about the soul? How do you adjust to that situation? Supposing it's life-threatening, supposing it's something like we meet in an accident and we become paralyzed. There has to be some adjustment in your life. What do you do then? I don't want to go to those extremities, but I'm just sharing. These things come a terminal illness may come, but if you really fight it at an early stage, you can become a survivor. Things like kidney disease, heart disease. There's so many ways you can fight it, but in terms of medically, but what do you do psychologically? What do you do in terms of the mental state of the soul? Do you bow to it? Or do you say, I can survive this? I can manage this. Do I change my lifestyle? Because most time when you have a disease, or any illness, it has to do with your lifestyle, the kind of food, your diet, what you're eating. So there definitely has to be an adjustment. So how you can go about changing your lifestyle? What are the adjustments to your diet? What about fitness, making the body become fit again, especially if you're not exercising and you are a couch potato. You go to work every day and you sit at your desk all day long. You come home, you sit in front of the TV or the phone, no exercise. So we have to learn to take care of the body through soul power. You use the soul to energize back the body, to revitalize it. And that also helps the soul to become more positive. So those should be the changes that we should be making. Of course, when we are working on the body, we shouldn't be having that attachment to the body. We should be detached, but the soul is using the body to carry out its work, the function, and so on. So we have to serve the body. The soul has to serve the body. It has to do the things to make the body perform actions in the right way without having any attachment to the body. Well, one of the things is that we have to learn to be sort of, the word to use here is to be intimate with the body, to know the feelings of the body, if we are giving it the right feelings. And how do we do that? We treat the body with kindness. How do we treat the body with kindness? How do we start to treat the body with kindness?
Respect, to respect the body. Because without this body, I can't do anything.
But how do we go about doing it? If we have an illness, one of the things is that we have to take care of the body so that it can last for years. And even in a normal lifestyle, we have to treat the body that it can last for years. Of course, we know. Of course, we can die any moment. So we have to live as if we can die today, but we treat the body right. Or if we can live a very long life, So how do we go about doing that? Treating the body with kindness.
We pay attention of the body's needs.
How?
The food. The food.
Okay, we start with the food. Exercise, yes, but you don't strain the body, right? You don't have exercise.
No. I exercise like seniors do.
What else?
Our thoughts or thinking pattern, how we think, positive. But healing,
We give it adequate rest. We sleep properly. We drink enough water. We drink the right liquids, not only eating the right food. So we have to stop drinking all the unnecessary things that we call health foods and all the fashionable things. Even the clothes that we wear, we don't wear too much of tight clothes. We wear clothes to let the body feel light, and we wear the right type of clothes. We live in a tropical country, so we should be wearing cotton clothes so that the body can breathe properly.
We speak to the body with kindness. We thank the body for its...
That's the one I'm waiting for. Yes, we speak to the body. We treat the body with kindness, meaning that we treat the body as if it's an angelic body. We walk with lightness. And this is also contributing to nature. When we walk very smoothly, very softly, very quietly, it's a practice that we can integrate into our life. Like we're bringing up an angelic stage. At the same time, we are treating the body with a lot of kindness. You talk to the body. Today you did well. Time to take a rest.
I always talk to the body.
You give the body a massage. It needs it. This is the way to treat the body. Kindness. Kindness to the body.
Treat the 5 elements of matter with love.
So when we do all these things, we realize, especially if we are ill and we come out of an illness, we come to a realization, right? That there is a sort of a greater respect for the body now. We treat it differently. There is more self-realization of the way we should be living and treating, well, as you write, some of you write, having pure thoughts in the soul, so that can impact on the body, the way the body goes about performing its task. Okay, anyone wants to share anything here at this point? Any thoughts? Anything that you would like to ask in relation to what we have just discussed? And you think you have a clear idea of the soul and body connection. And this lesson is about healing, the soul healing into and the new being, healing in terms of creating a more like wholeness then, the wholeness of our life. So it's more like it's a soul and body connection, but the soul taking charge now of the body and using its capacity now, soul's capacity to heal the body, to bring the body in line so that we will not be diseased, to remove the disease. Of course, we all have a lifespan to live. The body cannot live forever. We all know that. But in the short life or long life that we would have lived, to make sure that the soul is in harmony with the body. And the soul is what is controlling the body. So I have a few questions here, and I want you to think about them, and you can share on it right now. I'm giving you these questions because I went through a similar situation from last year into this year, and I was looking at myself. So there are two things I had as a medical issue, and also another issue with dealing with individuals. You know, when you get attached and too connected and they're not doing what you perceive should be the right thing. And so that's why our focus should always be in ourselves and flow, that us flow with positivity. Is there any time in your life you are able to release something that you desperately wanted to hold on to? Did you release it out of choice or necessity? So you can share on that right now. Anytime, anything in your life that you wanted to release, but you desperately hold on to it. But you are able eventually to release it, but you want to hold on to it. Any one of you had that experience, but you were able to release it? And did you do it out of necessity or out of choice? No one? Come on, this is an interactive session. You have to share. Don't be afraid. What is something that you had to release, but you were holding on to? It can be anything. Most of us, when someone dies in the family, especially a close relative, sometimes it can be a close friend, we want to hold on to their memories. We know we can't hold on to the body. The body has to be returned to the five elements. What do? We hold on to them and we suffer in silence. They have come, they have played their role, and they have moved on in their life. Well, they've gone beyond. The other thing is that we might have for those who would have probably got married and they had to separate, not necessarily married, in a relationship and they broke up, but you want to hold on to that relationship. But the other partner went on their own way and you desperately hold on to that. But eventually you have to release it. And those are just two examples. There can be material things which you hold on to, but you need to get rid of it, because for how long will you hold on to? Did you release it out of choice or necessity? It's always better when you release it out of choice, because you become free then. And there will be no negativity. But when you release it because you had to release it, there was no choice. You had to release it out of necessity because of the punishment or the suffering, I should say, that you had to go through. So the third part of that question was, how did you feel when you let it go? How do you feel? And you can still check yourself right now. I know some of you might not want to share, but how did you feel when you let it go? Did you feel happy? Did you feel sad? Did you feel joyful? Did you feel light? Did you feel peaceful? In most cases, it should be a feeling of peace, being peaceful, being satisfied, being contented. Okay, so my next question now, all of these things are related to what is blocking the soul from moving forward, creating a positive energy, having positive thoughts. What beliefs and attitude and mental and emotional pattern are still blocking you or preventing you from moving forward? What beliefs, what attitude, what mental, what emotional pattern is blocking you from moving forward? Anyone can answer. I'm sure you have some beliefs or some attitude or some emotion or mental, something mental that is holding you back and is blocking you from moving forward. You're not letting go of it. So check yourself right now. What is it that is really holding me from setting me free? And why am I not able to let go of all these things that are holding me back? What is blocking me from moving forward? What is stopping me from moving forward? What is holding me back? Anyone wants to share on that?
It could be dependency and helplessness.
What is dependency?
When you're saying that, okay, like for example, I did lost the Lukic husband and he was the breadwinner. And for quite a number of years, I didn't get back to myself. And after some time, I said, no, I have 3 kids and I have to be responsible. I have to move on and I can't only sit and sulk and cry. So I took a strong thought and I said, okay.
So what made you come to that point of realization?
Of course, when I came to Raj Yoga, I felt the strength and the support.
So there was realization at that point.
Yes.
That I had to let go, and you what you have to do is to check why you are being kept back all the time. What was keeping you back? But then eventually, okay, so now you're free of that.
I felt connected and I felt hurt, but I realized that, I have to let go and attachment and all these things. I tried to work on them. It took some time.
You see, it's our belief system also. What society, or the environment. So many things affect the way we think, the way we operate, and so sometimes we have to go beyond those things because all those things hold us back. So it's of letting go of attitudes, old attitudes, and behavioral patterns, emotional patterns, mental patterns. We have to learn to evolve. We can't be in one state all the time. Okay, the third question I have here. What old fears, attachment, expectation you need to let go of and to transform so that you can become free? So examine yourself right now. What old fears you have, what attachments you have, what expectations you have. Expectations, a big one. Perceptions. Let's start with old fears. What old fears you have is preventing you to becoming free? Well, how you need to transfer that so that you can become free? One of the biggest fear, of course, we know in our society is finances. If you lose your job, if you're not working, where can you get finances from to sustain you, sustain your body? That's one of the biggest fear. Attachment to family members, other people. If you lose them, what happens? Are we going to survive? Expectations. We have certain expectations of individuals, and when they don't fulfill that expectation, what happens with us? So these things we really need to let go of. We really need to free ourselves from all these expectations, from all these old fears. Well, generally fears. We need to free ourselves from fears. One of the things we need to understand is as a soul, the soul cannot be harmed physically. If we have that courage, that positivity, whatever comes in front of us, whatever challenges comes in front of us, we can overcome them. If we create that positive energy in the soul and see beyond whatever is happening around us. And one of the things, of course, is to fill the soul with that pure and positive energy. Here, what we do is meditation and connection to, we're connected to the Supreme Soul. And that fills the soul with that positive energy to overcome all these encumbrances, whatever you call them, attachments, customs, beliefs, systems, when we need to go past all of them.
Om Shanti, brother.
Om Shanti.
Good evening. Good evening to all. Enjoying your program. But would you like to remind me what is the basic of this program? What is the heading of the program?
Soul and body connection.
Soul and body connection. There's a saying in some one of the scripture, don't trust flesh. Someone in the scripture is mentioning, don't trust flesh. I'm not too sure if this answering your question. Because
it's it's not a matter of trust. What do you don't you trust your own body? If you're using that, it's another indicator to see how you trust others. Yes, you're talking at a different level. Yes. What are you saying? Go ahead. Mhm.
When the soul, you're telling me when the soul enter the body, then the soul develop this fear. When the soul is not in the body, there is no fear. The soul develop fear when the soul is in the body. I'm afraid of death, I'm afraid of this, I'm afraid of that. Basically, this was the topic is all about.
No. It's about healing the body. Healing the body through the soul. Is to get rid of all the negativity. Fear is just one. There are other negativities which we need to get rid of. Not only fear. Fear is a different, one of the different vices, of course. It's only one form.
Yeah, but now when the soul enter the body, then all this develop, all this come about.
Well, when the soul is out of the body, there won't be any experiences. It's only when the soul is in the body, there will be experiences of all the vices and the virtues.
So the body considered to be flesh.
The body is made out of the 5 elements, if you want to put it that way. When the soul enters the body, it's a life-giving force that gives life to the body. But the soul is what uses the body to carry out the functions. The soul is in charge of the body, if you can put it that way. The soul directs the body what to do, tells the body what to do. But if you can recall, what I said is that we bring all karmic accounts into the soul from past lives or even the current life.
I understand.
And so when we think of these things, they bring all those negative attributes or the negative vices.
Point taken. You're saying that if I have to let go something to enjoy free or to be peaceful, let me let go the body and just be peaceful. If the body is causing problem, if you understand where I'm coming from.
The body is not the one causing the problem, it's the way the soul thinks.
Gotcha. Okay, good. Thank you.
If you let go of the body, that's death. There is no body anymore. So what happens with your experiences? We come into a body to have experiences, to enjoy life, to have a good life. But because of karmic, so many factors, that is why these things contribute to the negativity in our life. But we can't say we let go of the body. The minute we let go of the body, that's it. There's no more life. Okay, anyone else wants to share? Interesting. Get rid of the flesh. Anyone else wants to share anything? Because we are going to be out of time just now. Good. For each one of you, this is an exercise. Well, some of you would have been following the path of spirituality for quite a while. But try spending time. This is an exercise you should try. Try to become aware of yourself as a soul. And as a soul, as you perform your daily activities. It can be as you get up in the morning, you go to the kitchen to cook. Think of yourself as a soul using the body to cook. You wash the dishes. You do the laundry. You go for a walk. Think of the soul and the body going for the walk. You're driving. Go into that experience as a soul, using the body to do these things. One of the things is that this will help in harmonizing the soul with the body. And especially when you're performing actions, if you're in connection with that soul, things will be done very quietly, very peacefully, and there won't be any sort of disruptions in your thoughts. So try this as an exercise that think of I, the soul, I am performing actions, whatever actions you're doing. The second one is to take time to renew your relationship with God. Sit and connect with Him anytime during the day. It can be early morning hours, it can be during the day, and could be in the evening also. Take time out and spend time to bring about newness in your relationship with God, strengthen it, and it can come as a role as the Father, the companion, the beloved. All these different relationships. You can even have a little conversation with Him. The other practice is, of course, creating the thought that God is freeing me from all the negativity. This is one of the final acts, actually, of the soul, is to free yourself when you're connected to God. If you have the thought that God is freeing me from all, whatever we would have discussed here, all the negative aspects of not being in harmony with the body, the soul not being in harmony with the body, so that you can be free of all the disease, which are the vices, really. And so that the soul can be in harmony with the body. But when you're connected to God, and He will fill you with that energy to free you from the chains of negativity. So what we will do now is to go into meditation from now until we have 10 minutes, until 7:30. So I will do a meditation commentary to reflect what we did today. And so you can follow in this meditation commentary. And this meditation commentary can also be done whilst you're performing your daily tasks, your daily activities. So sit quietly. Withdraw all your thoughts. Become aware of yourself as a soul. And the position of the soul is at the center of the forehead. Become aware of yourself as a soul, and that your energy is sparkling from within that still point of the forehead. Allow your spiritual energy to spread from the central point of the soul throughout the body. Little by little, you begin to feel light. You begin to feel effortless in your movements. You become still as that energy spreads to all parts of the body. Now, focus on creating a pure thoughts of peace, I am a peaceful soul. Become aware of your breath as you breathe in peace. I become peaceful. And I release and breathe out all negativity, all negative emotions, all negative tensions. I sit quietly, sit peacefully, and I spread this energy throughout my whole body into this room, into the atmosphere. Let each thought that I create, each movement I make, create a feeling of lightness and happiness inside of me. I am now connected to God, the Supreme Soul, to be my companion. The gentle hands of God is moving me, guiding me along this path. I feel the stillness and the peace within me. And with God as my companion, I fully surrender to my destiny. Destiny of being a peaceful being, a being of light and might, one with pure positive energy, pure positive thoughts. I fill each cell in this body with that pure energy. I now become free of all negative energy, all negative tension. As I begin to enjoy the peace and stillness of the soul. Om Shanti.
Meditation is the soul's flight with the feathers of a divine intellect. Let's fly now towards our supreme abode beyond the sun. moon and galaxies untold. Then we'll land far, far away in the subtle region beneath cool rays of power-filled purity and light from the eyes of Baptada. Lover's delight, a lover's delight. As a soul, you take off to the world of peace. You take off to your world of peace. You fly up to your home. Into the silence, you then arrive, and into the depth of knowledge you dive. Heart to heart, you sweetly converse with the Father Supreme, completely immersed, completely immersed. As a soul, you take off to the world of peace. You take off to your world of peace. You fly up to your home. A meeting that's bound to be divine. With a clean and clear state of mind. The almighty authority empowers you. May you feel light and might as a soul. You take off to the world of peace. You take off to your world of peace. Fly up to your home. As a soul, you take off to the world of peace. You take off to your world of peace. Fly up to your home. You 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 fly up to your
Om Shanti.
Oh, Shanti, night.
So those who have to remain, the advanced class, you can remain for a Murli session, and the rest, it's okay.
Very well done.
Thank you. Baba